This week's episode of In Defense of Ska is brought to us by Miami, Florida's Fuacata. Fuacata formed in 2021, and they released their first EP the next year in 2022. Fuacata are ready to release their second EP titled Second Chances, and it drops April 1st. No joke. This 3-song EP takes listeners through the same ups and downs the first EP did, and in true Fuacata style, will surprise you with what comes next. What does Fuacata mean? It's Spanish slang for impact, kind of like boom or pow, onomatopoeia. Fuacata, check it out. Check out Fuacata's 3-song EP on April 1st. And now, on with the show.
In 2019, New Noise magazine declared Omnigone as the best spin-off ska punk band in history. 2 members came from legendary East Bay group Link 80, and they created an aggressive punk-oriented ska sound very much in the same vein. Omnigone's new record, Against the Rest, was just released on Bad Time Records, and it's fantastic. But a few years ago, Omnigone's lead singer made the risky decision to become the co-host of the In Defense of Ska podcast. It has turned out to be the best decision he's ever made in his life.
So you had to fly solo for this episode. No co-host.
Yeah, well, actually, originally, it was going to be Mike Szynski was going to be the co-host on this episode, and we were going to surprise you.
You guys were trying to surprise me, but then I hit you up on when I was out on tour. I was like, hey, could we do an Omnigone episode? And then you were like, well, actually.
I was going to say like, oh, we need to record a bonus episode or something. I was going to try to think of some excuse to get you on. And then boom, when you got on, it was like record scratch.
I do love a surprise.
How would you have reacted if you'd been completely surprised?
I would have liked it. That would have been fun.
I wasn't 100% sure.
I am glad, though, that we got to have Barry and Justin on here, too, especially since nobody really ever gets to hear those two talk.
Yeah.
I was happy to have the conversation with them.
Okay, so Adam, first off, let's just establish that you're not allowed to be the co-host tonight.
Justin's the co-host tonight.
Yep. I'm just a guest tonight.
You're on the table with them, on that side of the table.
Yeah. This is like when you go to your work, like if you worked at like a restaurant and you go to your work and you sit at a table. It's like that.
Do you think we're gonna bring in some Omnigone fans that like don't normally listen to this podcast?
No. Yeah. I mean, definitely one of the things that happened a lot on this last run was people coming up to the merch table and telling me they listened to the podcast.
Whoa.
All right. I'm gonna read a quote first before we start off. Okay. This is Adam, you did an interview with Mustard.
Okay.
It says, Aaron is my oldest friend that I talk to the most. He's totally out of his mind.
Yeah.
You also say stuff about me being intelligent and thoughtful, but let's talk about the part where I'm out of my mind.
You wouldn't agree that you're out of your mind?
No, I agree.
Justin, what do you think of Aaron?
I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag, dude. I have a lot of different Aaron Carnes experiences. I think that most of them are very normal. And then my interactions with him on the internet are crazy.
Barry, you've toured with Aaron before.
Yeah.
What's touring with Aaron like?
Well, he carries around a laundry basket, so I don't know. I think that says enough.
What's in the laundry basket?
Not just laundry.
I just used a laundry basket on the tour instead of a suitcase, and they all thought it was hilarious.
Totally normal.
That's kind of cool.
Nothing weird about that.
You don't have to open the suitcase. See,
You never carry your clothes at belly level?
Barry, did he make it to all the hotel rooms okay?
Yeah, there was one. He made an extra hotel room visit.
Don't try and sell me on laundry baskets.
Didn't you have like a hotel room visit to the wrong room, Aaron?
Yeah, I think so. I got a free beer out of it though.
Imagine a man shows up at your door holding a beer with a laundry basket,
And dirty clothes.
knocking on your door at like 1 a.m. Somebody experienced that.
They didn't open the door, but they probably saw me on the other side.
Probably a reason they didn't open their door.
I'm going to actually throw out, I do have one like kind of unique Justin experience I want to share and see if Justin remembers.
Oh, yeah.
When I interviewed Mike Park, well, I think it was a Mike. I don't know if it was for the book or if it was for like an article I did on him. I think it was the article. Anyways, Justin was just there and just watched the entire interview.
What?
Do you remember that, Justin?
No, not at all. What was he being interviewed for?
Well, it was either when I interviewed him for my book In Defense of Scott, or it was when I interviewed him for like a really long article.
Are you sure it wasn't someone else that just kind of looked like me?
Maybe the Metro article, the Metro cover story. Do you remember that? The Metro cover story I did on Mike? The 15-year anniversary of Asian Man?
I actually have that Metro. It's hanging in my drum closet at my house. It's framed behind a bunch of coats, and when you pull the coats back, it's Mike's face peeking out.
Yeah, that one. I think that was the one. And you were just, I don't know, you were just at his house.
Oh, that makes sense.
You just sat quietly and watched like we were performing for you.
I believe that if that happened, that I was probably super entertained, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, this is great. Popcorn and a movie, I'm here.
You were a great audience. You didn't interrupt at all. You didn't make any sounds. You just watched.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time at Mike's house. That would make sense. But then, do you notice that he never mentions me in any interviews?
I noticed that.
I always text him afterwards and say, hey, how much did he talk about me? And he says, not at all. You know how disappointing that is?
It's interesting because he's very concerned about being talked about on all the interviews on this podcast.
I'm going to talk about him this entire interview. I'm just going to talk about Mike. Mike, are you listening?
Mike is probably right now, he's probably on a walk right now because that's what he likes to do. He likes to load up his In Defense of Ska and go for a nice walk around his house in Los Gatos and listen to me and listen to Adam and listen to our guests speak, just soothing his brain through his ears. So now, Justin, go ahead and deliver Mike a message while he's walking around in Los Gatos.
All right, Mike, I hope while you're walking that you don't get bit by any mosquitoes because there's water near you. And I've been bit by mosquitoes at his house a lot, so hope that doesn't happen. Now you put me on the spot. I don't know what to say to Mike while he's walking. That's weird. Have a good walk. Have a great walk. You're like a second dad to me.
Aw.
Aw.
All right, so let's talk about this new Omnigone record. Everybody in this recording recorded on this record, yeah?
Yep.
Including me.
Mhm.
But how many of my drum takes made it to that record?
0.
0.
They're going to be used for In Defense of Ska, right?
But I will say this: we recorded. So we recorded the first day with you, which thank you so much for coming down to the studio. We didn't have a drummer for the first day, and so it was useful having you come down. And then Justin came in the next 2 days and completely demolished one of his hands, but played all the songs in 2 days.
Wow.
And I think we started with songs that were not the songs that you recorded. And then once we finished all those, went back and did the song that you recorded.
And they were like, let's get these Aaron songs out.
And then we A-B'd them. We're like, well, maybe we'll use Carnes's takes. And then when you listen to them back and forth, we're like, yeah, Justin's takes are better.
You could have kept like some like a couple symbols or something just so that I could have had my name in the credit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I thought about it later, I was pretty stressed about the whole thing, but if we had just recorded like some dub jams to like go in between stuff, that might have made it in.
We'll have to do that next record.
I think if we'd been a little bit looser when we'd played with you. Yeah, next record. Start practicing now, Aaron.
Have you said, I don't know if have you explained publicly why I played on the first day and Justin played on the second 2 days, what the situation was?
No, and we can say it. We were supposed to have Joey Bustos play on the whole record. The Link 80
What?
drummer. He played on 2 songs when we were just trying the studio out, and then we were like, yeah, let's just do the whole record with Joey. It'll be fun. And then Joey committed to it, and then realized he couldn't do it. Like about a week before we were supposed to go in and record. So we had to scramble, and luckily you and Justin were able to come in and do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have been screwed.
So, how did you feel about the recording session? Did you feel good about it? I mean, you were saying it was pretty stressful given the last minute issues going on.
I mean, I felt much better about it than the last session, just because we were in our in our way, we were more prepared. Like when we recorded No Faith, I was just throwing chord progressions at everybody. And we were like, okay, here's the song. It's going to be this part, this part, this part. Okay, let's try it once. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, let's record it. Okay, let's try recording it again. Okay, we're done. And go to the next one. And we did like 11 songs in one day. And it was just insane. And like when one drummer would get tired, I mean, you were there for that too, Aaron. You played on a couple songs. When one drummer would get tired, we just flip drummers. And so we had Justin there, we had Brent there, we had you, and we were supposed to have Matt Kolb there also.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't make it. So I don't know. I feel like that's like a product of us doing Gnarboots. Like just kind of just trying whatever, just going, oh, maybe do this, and then record it and just be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Because at this point in my life, like I'm beyond the point of wanting to sit in a practice space and like do it again and again and again until it's like exactly what's in my head, like some, true visionary or whatever bullshit. Like I trust Justin and I trust Barry and I trust you, Aaron, to just do whatever you're going to do. And that's what the song is. Like, it doesn't need to be like micromanaged. You can just trust the people in your band.
You're supposed to just capture the moment in time anyway. So, I mean,
sure.
That's pretty much what I felt like we were trying to do with the last one anyways.
Well, so what was it like for you, Justin? Did you know the songs well, or were you picking them up in the studio?
No, I mean, so Adam sent them to me about a week before. And fortunately, they had some like, you heard them, Aaron. They had like loose drum machine tracks programmed over it. So I was like, okay, I kind of know what everybody wants out of this. And I always like that. I like to go in and know what people want from me rather than show up and give them what I want, because it's not about what I want. It's about what the record needs. So it was cool to have that. I felt confident. I played the songs every day leading up to going to the studio, went in and felt pretty good about everything. I had notes and was able to play through. And it I think came out really good. I'm really happy with it for how short the amount of time was.
Justin, have you ever played any Omnigone shows?
I played one, maybe two.
Definitely played one.
Yeah, it might just be one.
Is there a reason why? Is it touring tough for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, touring sucks for me. I have really bad anxiety when it comes to touring. I've always been that way. Even when I was like 20 and I should have been having the time of my life, I was just stressed. And like it comes and goes. I've had really, really good tours where I'm just happy as can be, but you have to kind of, in order to reach that place for me, I have to leave everything behind. Like I have to completely detach from home reality in order to give myself 100% to tour reality. So it's hard for me to do that. I love doing it. I would love to do it more, but it's hard for sure.
Is there another reason that touring's hard for you right now, Justin?
I mean, I have a kid that I have one and a half year old right now. That doesn't make it super easy to do a lot of like, I'm going to leave the house for a long time. Then you add the anxiety to that. And I get motion sick. Like that's another thing. If you were to interview Mike Park, he can tell you stories about me vomiting on the side of the freeway.
Oh,
At 2:00 in the morning, just like, hey, can we pull over? I need to throw up, and just puking my brains out, and then getting back in the car and being like, all right.
Is it just when you're sitting passenger, or?
Yeah, if I'm a passenger, I'll probably throw up. You can put money on me throwing up.
Hey, Adam, we might have a new driver.
I'm actually happy driving. I prefer to drive.
I've driven every tour that I've done the last 5 years. I've driven, or 10 years. I've driven every mile, every single mile.
Wait, so Adam, the Bad Time Records tour you did,
Mm-hmm.
did you drive the entire tour?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
What was the final? Not the California leg, but the week before California, you came home from what? Colorado?
Yes. Denver. Yeah.
Okay, so walk us through that.
It was 1,000 miles flat. We
My man.
You sure you don't want him to drive you through it?
we did 16 hours. 16 hours. We couldn't go through the Sierras because of all the snow. And I looked it up on Google Maps to see how we were going to get back. And there was another route that you would drive down towards Southern California and then go up the 5. And that was 1 minute longer than going over the Sierras. So I was like, well, obviously we're doing that. And then we added another like 20 or 30 minutes because we drove Nick back to his house in Chino.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably could have done the whole drive in one shot, but then I would have gotten home at like 5 a.m. and just been wrecked for the rest of the day. So we stopped at about 2:30 and got like a ratty hotel room, just me and Barry, and crashed out for a couple hours and then got up and finished the drive. So 16 hours one day and then 5 hours the next day. And also I'll say this for anybody who has toured or is planning on touring, the drive between Denver and Salt Lake City on the 70 is so much better than the drive on the 80. Don't do the 80. If it's snowing at all, you're going to get stranded. And the 70 is so much prettier. Basically, I'm saying fuck Wyoming.
That's fair.
What did you think? So, this is a question for Adam and Barry. Sorry, Justin.
Oh, that's fine.
The In Defense of Ska tour with Mustard Plug and Buck 09 and the Bad Time tour. How are these different, better, worse? These different experiences for you as a Omnigone touring band now?
I mean, I think they're both examples of like how flourishing ska is right now. I mean, in my opinion, I love both tours for different reasons, but yeah, for me, it was just like, I didn't think that we'd ever play in front of that many people again in a ska band, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I thought it was great, but what was your take, Adam?
Well, were you happier on this tour that you did not catch COVID?
That's not fair, though.
Oh, we're going into the personal aspect of it. Huh? I was glad to play more than 4 shows. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like it sucked last time. I almost started crying because like we had to leave you at a truck stop.
Someone said they were happy to see me again, but I got it. Yeah, I wasn't at the last one in Seattle. So,
What was that, like like the Seattle or the Portland show?
I think it was the Seattle show. Someone was like, "Oh man, when you guys came here last, you guys were awesome. You did so, whatever." And I was just kind of like, it was the same thing. It was like when I joined Link 80, I felt like I was just okay. Nod your head, and okay, cool. No,
Yeah,
I wasn't here the last time, but yeah.
I mean that's one thing also that I've learned is when people ask me to sign something now, I just sign it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to like
explain it.
Like somebody had me sign like their like a T-shirt of a different band during one of these shows, and I was just like, sure.
Yeah, I think I tried to correct somebody back in Link 80, and that didn't go so well. So I've never tried to correct anyone ever again.
Just sign the thing. Be happy that somebody wants you to write your name.
Yeah.
When I roadied for Skang and Pickle back in '95, I signed I signed like 2 shirts as the drummer, just because I was breaking the drums apart, and I got asked to sign their shirt.
There you go.
Amazing.
So yeah,
That's incredible.
Do you like signing autographs, Justin?
I love it. I love signing autographs. If anyone's listening and you want an autograph, just hit up Adam Davis and he will get you. I'll mail you an autograph for free. That's how much I like signing autographs. I think it's sick.
He's got all your autographs, right?
Oh, I got signed. Again, ask Mike Park. He has a photo of me signed somewhere that I sent to him for his birthday.
Adam, what did you think about the difference between the vibe and the audiences of the 2 tours, and their reaction to you at Omnigone?
You know, the funny thing on both sides, like I thought we would be a little bit more recognized at the Bad Time Records tour. Like with the Mustard Plug and Bucko 9, like obviously it was like an older crowd or people who, you know, listened to ska in the 90s, and so we were like definitely a new band for everybody. And then on this, I was kind of thinking like, oh, okay, well, we'll probably get a little bit more like recognition since we're part of the same crew. But so many people were coming up to me just being like, wow, I've never heard of you guys before, and they were all stoked. They're like kind of the same as during the Mustard Plug tour. And then like the plus side and the downside was that there were no other bands added to the Bad Time tour.
Yeah.
I mean, the bad side of that being that, you know, we had to go on first every night, which, you know, I don't totally mind, but on the Mustard Plug tour, having somebody else be that buffer for like when people are like running late, that's always nice. It was kind of awful a couple times to like, you know, be sweaty off stage, you know, heading over to merch, and somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Did you just play?" And you're like, "Yeah, you just missed it. Sorry."
By the record.
I mean, that's the thing too, is with Brent as tour manager, everything ran absolutely on time, at least as far as Omnigone was concerned.
Yeah.
Like we had a tight 30 every night. You know, since he was behind the drums, he was rushing me along if I was being a little bit long in the tooth talking between songs, and keeping us on.
Okay, so on the Bad Time tour, you at the San Francisco show, at least, I just assume that you did this on the other shows, but you have a song about, you know, just because you get older doesn't mean you have to be, you know, old in your brain, essentially. And
Yeah.
you talked about how we don't need any more 50-year-old dipshit punks turned MAGA. Care to elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny because you pointed out to me during the show, you're like, you're almost 50. And I was like, yeah, but that's actually kind of the point. It's like literally the people that I used to look up to who are like 5 to 10 years older than me that are like turning around now and like saying stupid ass shit. Just like either coming out as being racist or homophobic or transphobic or anti-vax. And it's such a fucking downer. And it just bums me out so fucking hard. And it's like infuriating. And there's no reason as we get older to like close off your mind and be unwilling to like change your opinion about things, or be unwilling to like look at things from another person's perspective,
or just slide
and
backwards.
so that's kind of what that's about.
That's true. I mean, I totally agree. Like Adam, I'm 47, you're 46.
Yeah.
So we're a lot older than a lot of the bands in Bad Time and the audience, I think. And
Yep.
there wasn't a lot of discussion about people being trans and trans rights and all that when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew up with that sort of becoming aware of that, and having a lot of people who were younger than us kind of promoting these ideas, but we did not. We weren't like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
you know, we were open-minded, and we listened, and we allowed ourselves to become aware of things that maybe we weren't aware of when we were that age.
Right. And it's not to say that I like fully accepted it like immediately and had no issues. Like I definitely like, you know, was raised in the 80s and had all these like horrible conceptions of like how media portrays people. I mean, fucking look at like the last scene in like fucking Ace Ventura.
Sure.
Like Jesus Christ. Like that hasn't aged well. But like I've kept my mind open and been able to like see people as people and understand why people transition or why people, you know, are gay or, you know, whatever. And it's not that hard. It's really easy to just like take a step back and look at things from another person's perspective and be like, oh, you know, I think I get that, and just progress instead of just always thinking that you're right, which is what I feel like all these dudes that are older than me are doing.
And so what is it like, and Barry, you know, you feel free to comment too, like, especially on the Bad Time tour, what's it like being like kind of the older part of the scene? Like, I think you're like you guys were the oldest people on that tour, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably on the label as well, right? Well, I guess there's a couple, you know, like J. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Now there's older people on the label. But we were definitely the oldest dudes on the tour. And I think also Barry and I are just so used to touring like real rough, like that this feels fucking luxurious. Like sleeping in hotels every night.
I'm used to having a neck cramp and kinked up back just from sleeping in the van or on the floor underneath some stairs. It was
Yeah, we did 0 night drives.
Yeah.
Which was unheard of back in the day. We were driving overnight every fucking
So the
night.
way it used to work though, Aaron, is night drives were for Adam and Aaron, and the day drives were for all the drinkers because we couldn't do the night drives. So
because you guys would all be fucking hammered.
Adam's taken over all the drives, and I just kind of feel like I need to earn it back, you know?
That's the thing too, is I love touring with sober Barry.
Yeah, I want to ask about that.
Touring with sober Barry is way better than touring with drunky Barry.
Drunky Barry? Yeah. How much did you used to drink, Barry?
A lot. I don't remember most of the stuff that happened. I mean, I honestly don't. I like my wife will ask me like, "What was it like in Europe?" I'm like, "It was like being in a bar every night, all night." That's pretty much what I remember.
Yeah, kind of sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I mean, I tell my kids if you want to have this kind of memory.
Yeah, Adam, you've talked about that, I think, in other interviews as you're promoting Omnigone, that you're like a straight edge band.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I mean, I guess that's really your only. You've been straight edge your whole life, but this is your first experience being in a straight edge band, essentially.
I was in a straight edge band, Adam.
You were in a straight edge band, yeah, but like, wasn't the singer like a secret sipper?
No. He, as far as I knew, as far as we knew, he was a straight edge singer. And then one night, after like 6 months to 8 months of playing shows, singing a song called Straight Edge, and then going out and drinking our asses off and wondering why we're the band with the straight edge guy, we go to show up to a show and he's just sipping a beer and just like, yeah, no, I broke. I'm like, what? We got to throw away our whole set.
I broke.
Right? I mean, yeah.
That's not going to work.
It didn't. We quit after that. We're like, what are we doing with this guy?
Justin, have you ever been in a straight edge band before?
I was in a straight edge band with you, Adam. 2010.
Was For the Win supposed to be a straight edge band?
I don't think it was a straight edge band, but everyone in that band was straight edge.
You would not have known it from looking at that band.
Yeah.
For the Win. How long were you in this band, Adam?
I got tricked into being in that band. I was supposed to come in and sing one song on this album. And I was happy to do it. Like, I thought the band was cool. I came in and did one song, and then I did another, and then I did another. And then I sang on half the record. And then the guitar player quit. No, the bass player quit. So then the guitar player moved over to bass.
He also recorded guitar.
I didn't record any guitar. I just played guitar for the album release show.
The guy who recorded guitar recorded bass too. He did both.
Yeah.
And then the bass player quit, and that guy who was a guitar player got bumped to bass, even though he wrote all the parts.
Yeah.
And then you replaced him. Then he quit.
And then he quit, and then you quit, and then the singer tried to keep me around.
Tell me, Adam was the last member?
Adam was last man standing.
Almost.
He was the band.
And then the best part was I was at Asian Man Records, and Mike was pissed about the singer of that band. And he like has since re-released, like put out an Asian Man Records release using that catalog number. So like the For the Win record doesn't exist in the discography.
It's completely
and he
deleted.
handed me the remaining records off the shelf and was just like, get rid of these. And so I took all these For the Win records, and I just like, I had an office job, and I just like put on like, I think maybe Facebook, it might have been MySpace. I was just like, hey, if you want a copy of this record, send me your address. And I just used the company postage, and I just sent these records to people.
I remember you For the Win. This might have been your first show, Adam. It was a Nickel City.
Only show.
Yeah, okay, only show. You got on stage, and you went up to somebody else in the band, I don't know who, and you said, hi, how you doing? I'm Adam. We're in a band together.
Yeah, that would have been Jonathan McMaster, right? Because he got thrown in on bass that night because he was going to be the new bass player.
What, did he really? Oh my God, that's right.
And I remember being super annoyed because I was just like, who's this fucking 16-year-old kid? And then he came up to me at Fest in 2022 and was like, do you hate me? And I was like, no, why would I hate you?
Oh, that's the guy? Oh, man. That's funny.
Oh, I was texting him. I made you guys friends again. I'm a matchmaker.
Yeah, I guess he was texting Justin, and he's like, I'm here, and Adam's here. And Justin was like,
I said, you should hang out with Adam. He's great. He's all, no, I think he doesn't like me.
Yeah, so he came over to the merch table. He just looks me right in the eye and just goes, do you hate me?
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. That was totally uncomfortable.
I was super, super annoyed to just like have this like rando 16-year-old thrown up on stage to play bass. Like, I was like, I don't know who the fuck this kid is. Like,
oh, McMaster ended up he's a shredder. I played Kitty Cat Fan Club with him for 5 years. He was good then, dude.
Yeah.
Do you hear Stick Up Kid?
I'd never actually heard Stick Up Kid, but I know who they are.
Played in another band before that. I forgot they were called, but I have them on my iPod. I'll send it to you.
Great content.
I'm going to extract it from my iPod.
You're going to download it from your iPod so you can send it to me.
You ever done that? It's actually surprisingly difficult.
Yeah. The program is called Satuni, which is iTunes spelled backwards.
All right. I want to shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
We're going to talk a little bit about Gnarboots. I dug up. Okay. Do you remember we did an interview with the San Francisco Chronicle, and you answered all the questions?
Amazing.
Do you remember this?
No, but it sounds correct.
Okay, so it was all email. You answered all the questions. Great answers. They edited down to where it was like they took all the best stuff out. It was just like a dumb interview.
Yeah.
Okay. So I found the original actual interview.
Oh, you found the original one that didn't get published.
Yeah. And I found it the email you sent me. Okay. So I want to go through them, and we can elaborate on some of the stuff.
Okay.
Okay. First question is: was there a band you heard when you were young that inspired you to become a musician? I remember lazily sitting in front of the television and watching MTV as a teenager. I was watching the video for Anthrax's song "Persistence of Time." About halfway through the video, I shot up in my seat with the epiphany, I want to be in a band. At the time, I couldn't play any instrument. I'd never taken any piano lessons. I just figured if the weirdos in that video can be in a band, I could too. How hard could it be? It's a true story?
Yes. And I've probably since told that story a bunch of times.
Yeah, okay. So side question. I feel like I remember you playing Nirvana at like a talent show in high school.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. What song did you do?
Oh shit. So Gilroy High School talent show, they would just kind of let you put together a band and then you could play. So I had some friends, Josh Kabibi, Joffrey Longoria, and some other kid on drums. They wanted to play Freedom by Rage Against the Machine. So they're like, meet us at such and such garage. We'll practice it and we'll be in the talent show. So we went and I was just going to do vocals, and I just did vocals and we ran the song, and I was amazed that everybody knew how to play it. And I screamed my head off and it was awesome. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we went and did the audition at the talent show and played Freedom. And the people there were all like hair blown back. Like we fucking killed it. And then like we really went for it too. Like the way that like teenagers can. Like, you know how like you have teenagers like sound check and then they'll just like start performing. That was us. So we just like went for it. And it was awesome. And then all three of the other members of that band were ineligible because of their grades. So I had no band. So then I had to like piece it together with some other people.
Ineligible.
Yeah. I had to piece it together with some other people, and we're like, well, what are we going to do on short notice? Like, and we're like, I don't know, let's do Nirvana. And so we did Smells Like Teen Spirit. And then I think I also did like acoustic, like Jesus Wants Me for a Sunbeam or whatever. And it was fine. It was like total like chaotic train wreck. And with the Pat Parker, who was the jazz guitarist at our school, was like jealous that nobody had asked him to play. So he was like, I think we had like 3 guitar players for this thing. So it was like 3 guitars all playing just the chords and Smells Like Teen Spirit. Amazing. And then the other performance I did at that same talent show was The Cure's Fascination Street. And I played guitar for that. And 2 of the members from that band were ineligible because of grades. So we replaced them with members from the jazz band, Scott Weinholtz on drums, and some other fucking dork playing the keyboard part. And we just like put a black shirt on him and made him stand in the back. It's like, okay, plunk out this part on the keyboard.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Totally amazing.
So tell me, did you cry when Kurt Cobain died?
Yeah, for sure. I was like a little kid, and like I was like fucking like that was what made me want to play guitar. Like the first time I even held a guitar, I was like, "Oh, you're supposed to hold it this way, right?" And somebody's like, "Nope, turn that over." Kurt Cobain is left-handed. Not everybody else is left-handed. I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
All right, I'm gonna go back to the interview. Okay, next question is, how does living in the Bay Area affect your music? In the Bay Area, any night of the week, we can see any type of band you would like playing at some bar. Kind of typo. There's such a glut of music happening all the time. Standing out is difficult. That helped us make the decision to make our performance and music over the top. At this point in my life, I don't want to be in another band where I get up on stage, plug in a guitar, run through the same set of songs, and get off the stage for in time for another band to get up on stage, plug in the guitar, run through the same set of songs. I want it to leave a lasting impression, something people will talk about after the show, whether people enjoyed themselves or had a horrible time.
Yeah.
You enjoying plugging your guitar again?
I mean, I'm not plugging my guitar in, am I? I'm running around on stage with a microphone. I'm fucking living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would say that I am still trying to make it a spectacle. And I would say that like what we learned in Gnarboots as far as like engaging the audience, like I'm still trying to do that to a degree. And you might even see the parachute come out again at some point. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Why not? I'll just steal that from Gnarboots.
Omnigone parachute.
Okay, so next question. What's the most important aspect of putting on a live show? To have fun. We will turn any situation into a good time, at least for us. Some of our worst or weirdest shows have turned out to be some of our most enjoyable. We had a few shows in Oakland and Stockton where homeless people came in off the street and joined our band for a song or two. These moments are things you can't plan for, and the ability to roll with the moment keeps things exciting for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You on the 3 Gig podcast, you mentioned those shows as some of your worst shows.
But I also said that they were some of our best shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned on the 3 Gigs, you mentioned the Goodwin Brothers show, where the janitor, I think, like jumped on stage at the end and started shouting, "Heads are going to roll through the doggy door."
Yeah. Absolutely terrifying. That guy was intense.
Yeah, that guy was very intense. Which of your lyrics best defines your band and why? We are all G to the N to the ARBOOTS.
Poetry.
That's the lyrics. The reason is we embrace the concept that we are all Gnarboots. There is no stage, there is no audience, there is only Gnarboots.
Yep.
Why did he edit this shit?
I don't know. That's fucking genius right there.
Wow.
Pat myself on the back.
That's a great answer.
The funniest thing to me too is anytime there's a picture of me and you, people still like comment with "We are all Gnarboots."
Yeah, I know somebody. There was a person in the San Francisco show that like tapped me on the shoulder, then opened their jacket to show me the Gnarboots shirt.
Incredible.
If your band could collaborate on a song with any with any person living or dead, who would it be? Living, Flaming Lips, The Residents, Negative Land, The Knife, Silent Shout Era, John Congleton from the Paper Chase, any of the pop music people currently making music, because pop music has gotten weird. Still feel that way about pop music?
Yeah. Pop music is fucking weird.
Dead is a lot harder because first they'd have to come back from the dead,
Mm-hmm.
which
True.
last we checked is impossible.
True.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Then we would have to explain to them that it's 2014 and they've been dead for a while.
Yep.
After shock wears off, we'd have to talk them into using some of their newfound life writing new music with us. Also, can we bring them back to life only from where they left off? We don't really want fat Elvis or weird Michael Jackson. Maybe we do. Shoot, this is hard. Okay, we picked Paul McCartney.
Oh my God.
Fuck. Damn. Adam in 2014 was on some good shit right there. That's great.
That's funny.
All right. So, okay. If a junior high, this is a good one. If a junior high school asked you to play a cover song at the next talent show, what song would you choose and why? We would pick whatever song would make them riot and burn down the school. Junior high is the worst time in everyone's life. Nothing makes sense. It's such a crappy transitional period. Hopefully, the Gnarboots riots of 2015 will bring about the abolishment of junior high school, and kids could spend those 2 years learning a trade instead.
God, why didn't they fucking print this?
Dude, I know exactly why they didn't print this.
What a fucking stupid ass question, though. Seriously.
They're like, man, kids are going to join a cult.
How else are you supposed to answer that question?
Yeah. Well, how'd you get your band name?
Oh, yeah, that's in there. Okay, next question is, how would you describe your sound? Do you remember the answer you gave to this one?
No, I have no idea what I said, but I'm sure it's fucking fire.
Musical terrorism.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Did not print that one.
No. But I stand by that, and I that's how I describe Gnarboots anytime anybody asks about it. Musical terrorism.
They printed something, but not what you responded with?
They just cut it like way down.
Just grabbed one word out of the whole thing and just use that?
They just like redacted it down until it said, "Come to our show."
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So instead of musical terrorists, it just said musical?
Yeah.
Musical.
Come to our musical performance.
How would you describe your music? Well, it's music. Next question, please.
How did you come with your band name, and what does it mean to you? In my old band, we had a drummer who used to use a bunch of dumb skater slang. Gnarboots came from that.
Yeah, Barry, what drummer is that?
That's Bustos, or is that Steve?
You had a 50-50 chance.
That's Stephen Heat.
That's Stephen Heat.
Strap on your Gnarboots is the expression, and that just means you're walking around barefoot, right?
That for him it meant that because he would just tour in board shorts, no shirt, no shoes.
Yeah.
And he'd be walking around at the gas station with no shoes on. Just dirty ass feet in the van.
and a shirt on, but it would be totally unbuttoned.
Maybe a shirt on that's unbuttoned.
That's a look.
I mean, he's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could be Stephen Heat.
He came from Hawaii and he didn't want to hide that at all.
No, he wasn't trying to hide that. He also had a really cool tattoo on his chest that was just like 2 fists, like 2 balled up fists. And then he had these triple fortissimos tattooed on his collarbones. So it was just like, yeah, I just play hard all the time. And I was like, respect. He did play so hard that like whenever he had to play like Money Beat fast, it sounded like he was like climbing out of a hole every single time. He would like hit the snare. Like it just made it sound lurchy and weird because he would play so hard.
The end of that question, you say, we wanted a name that was easy to spell, was one word, and sounded gross.
Yeah.
I have to say Gnarboots is a good band name because most people have never really heard that word or don't have any association with it.
Yeah.
Which I guess Omnigone, is that a made up word?
Omnigone, no, it's usually without the E.
Oh, okay.
It's a hypothetical shape with a infinite number of sides.
Similar, I would say, in that it's like you get to have the association of being Omnigone and not it being some other thing as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that was what I learned from Gnarboots. Like Gnarboots is a great band name. Like it's probably the best band name, straight up. Like,
yeah,
it's like so memorable and like weird and like it's like Catbite. Like it's one of those band names.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something like that, and I just kept imagining like what would I want it to look like on a t-shirt. And like when I was trying to think of like band names, I was going through all these different ideas, and they were all fucking shitty.
Cheesy band names.
Yeah. Did you have any band names, Barry?
I just remember thinking these sound like ska band names. It's terrible.
Like what?
I can't even remember. I'm just getting my memory back now, so it's not here yet.
Big Larry and the Skankers.
Big Larry and the Skankers.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember when he came up with Omnigone, I was like, oh, huh. I would never have thought of that, but that sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, it was for me, it was like,
it just sounded different than anything else.
I knew that I wanted to like incorporate the Link 80 in it. And so like, I was like, oh, how can I put it in there? And like, I was like thinking about things with like the word 0 and thinking about things with the word like halo, because it kind of looks like a halo. And I was like, I don't like any of these. And then Omnigone popped into my head. And then I was like, I'll put an E at the end of it so it's easier to find it. So it's like you don't just find Omnigone like with GON. And then I literally just sat down on my computer and just like photoshopped out the 0 from the Link 80 and then found a typewriter font that I liked. And I was just like, shit, yeah, this is it.
That's amazing. I played on two records, and that's the first time I've heard that story. Like I had no clue what band I was playing in, and
there'll be a different story the next time around.
Well, we didn't have a name when we recorded the album. Did we have a name when we recorded No Faith?
I thought you said it was Omnigone. I don't know.
No, when we recorded the first one, that was just supposed to be a Christmas special.
Wow.
What was supposed to be a Christmas gift?
I thought that we were just recording that to hand out to our family and friends just for like, haha, like check it out. We played ska for 13 songs.
Oh, for sure. I didn't know what we were doing with it. I thought we were just going to like, we'll just take a song every couple months and throw it online. Like on Bandcamp.
How did this band come together? It's still on Gnarboots. We formed out of being burnt out on music.
True.
We've played in other bands for years. And so there's much boring, awful, tedious work that goes into being a real band.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to try something different. Don't practice, just play shows. Play any slot on the bill like you're headlining, especially headlining shows.
That still holds true.
I was going to say, that sounds like the Omnigone decree.
Yeah. We don't practice.
Yeah.
We don't practice, straight up. We've recorded more times than we've practiced.
That's true.
Yeah. We've recorded more times than we practiced, and we definitely try to play every set like we're the main band. Like that 30 minutes that we get to be on stage, that's our time.
Do you remember, okay, the rest of that interview is just like, where are you playing and what's your new record called? So that's not really that interesting. Do you remember, Adam, during Gnarboots, you wrote a blog post for Don't Hang Out in Front of the House? It's like a house show blog.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember why you wrote that, or was there any specific show we played that inspired you to write that?
I mean, I remember we played with what's his bucket that was running that blog. Can't remember what his name was. It was Attica or something like that was his band.
His name is Aaron, I think.
Aaron, yeah.
But I remember because the tone of that blog was just basically like how you kind of felt like worried about the kids not being down with the punk sort of ethos and everything. But then having been part of these house shows and stuff with Gnarboots, you kind of saw that it wasn't dead.
Totally.
Yeah. And so that was the tone of it. I was just wondering if there was any shows that you remember into Gnarboots that really kind of made you believe again, if you will, in the sort of the passing down of the baton to the punks and stuff.
Probably like the Story House show that we played and like the backyard shows that we played in San Jose. Like specifically the moment where like Laura Stevenson was playing and like everybody was being like real quiet and respectful in this like grungy ass backyard. And like we were in the like flight path of like the San Jose airport and there were like airplanes flying overhead. And it was just like a beautiful moment. And I was just like, fuck yeah, I feel super lucky to be here in my 30s at this like weirdo, like grungy punk, like teenage punk party. And that's the thing also is like all these like people our age that were super into punk in the 90s, you know, just like, oh yeah, the kids just don't give a fuck about punk anymore. And it's just like, no, they do. You just aren't invited to their shows anymore.
That's exactly.
Like, and now, even now, like in the Bay Area, like the shit that bands like False Flag and Surprise Privilege are doing, like playing at places like Stay Gold Deli and playing fucking like rogue ass shows in like Generator shows in like Golden Gate Park and playing on Bart, playing in the last car of Bart and like thinking they're going to get shut down, like in playing like one song. And then they play for like, you know, a full 30 minutes before the cops stop them. And then the cops don't do anything because they know it'll just be a riot if they start arresting kids. So they just let everybody go. These kids don't give a fuck. Like, also they're all like so young that it's like, you can't even arrest me. Like, I'm fucking 17. Like, fuck you. So like, I'm just always just like in awe of like the next generation of kids. And it makes me like stoked that they're doing stuff. I don't feel comfortable doing the stuff they're doing, but that's probably because I'm an old ass man and I shouldn't be the one doing that stuff. Like, that's awkward.
Yeah.
It's sick. I think the kids are totally all right. They're doing great.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back to Link 80. Barry, did you join Link 80 after Adam?
I joined right as Link 80 was shutting down, but yeah, it was right after. No, it wasn't out right after. It was well after.
You had like a year and a half, right?
Got a year and a half, but I'd also been playing for quite a few years leading up to that. That year and a half wasn't long enough.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so you let's give your history, pre-Link 80 history.
I was used to being in a lot of bands that got their place, like kind of work their way up, and then they'd fall apart. So joining Link 80 was like, yes. And then it was like, oh, wait, we're doing the same thing my other bands did. We're folding up shop. Okay.
Nate, what are some of the bands you were in before Link 80?
I was in the Blast Bandits, and I don't really think other than the Blast Bandits, I mean, and even them, they're only really known for one of the songs that Link 80 covered.
And Omnigone.
Well, yeah, I'm saying pre-Link 80, but
yeah.
Yeah, it was the Blast Bandits, Link 80, and Omnigone. I was in a band shortly about 7 years ago called Terrible Timing, but that was, again, one of those bands where you build it up, and then right when it feels like it's getting somewhere, it just folds up. So hoping that Omnigone doesn't do that. Knock on wood.
Do you guys? So what was it like when you joined the band? Did you guys become friends right away?
Yeah, we were already friends.
Oh, because from Blast Bandits.
Yeah, I'd play with them in Blast Bandits, and then in some of my other bands where I was playing drums. So it wasn't like I had to, meet them and get to know them and find out who they were. It was more or less just getting accustomed to their habits on tour.
And your habits on tour?
Well, yeah, I mean, my habits I was trying to hide for the most part, but I just hanging out with Joey and letting his habits shine.
Barry, when we first joined, it was just like every single time we'd stop somewhere for like food or gas, Barry would take a shit and then tell us how good the toilet paper was.
Yep.
This is before he was. Now he brings wipes because he's a civilized human.
Yeah, no, I never used the men's bathroom at any club we played at. That's the one thing I can tell you that I remember about touring.
Yeah.
Is I never used the men's bathroom. But before the show opened, I never used the men's bathroom because that was like the worst place ever. It was like bottom of the hill in every single bathroom, or Gilman everywhere across the U.S. in the men's bathroom. But the women's bathroom was like, I don't know, Hilton. It was amazing. It was like they did all the work in there and just left the men's bathroom just be every night. Threw toilet paper in there and let them fight for it or something.
Were you drinking a lot back then?
I was drinking a lot back then. There was one time in England where one of the times Busto said it was his birthday, and we drank into the evening. We did Irish car bombs all night. I just remember we got up at the hostel the next morning and we're showering, and we're, this is one of those hostels where you have like 10 showers, and they're covering neck down. You can't see anything. So we're all showering, just like joking with each other. And Ryan's next to me. He's all, "Hey dude, you have your hoodie on?" I was like, "What?" And I was just showering with like fully clothed, shoes on, everything. I didn't have an extra pair of shoes or anything. I didn't even realize it. I was so hammered. And then we went to the club and I literally died the whole way there and at the club. Yeah, it was really, really bad. I'm glad to be sober though. I've not had a hangover in quite a long time.
It's wild, right?
When did you stop drinking?
I quit drinking in April of 2019.
Did you have a strong reason, a moment or anything to make that decision?
Well, I had wanted to quit, but I'm one of those people that when I want to do something, I can't just kind of want to do it because it just won't work. And especially with alcohol, that's been something that's been a part of me since I was 13. So I was like, I just knew that I couldn't just kind of want to quit. So I was always wanting to quit it to some degree, And then my wife quit a couple of years before me. And then it just got to the point where I kind of knew it was either going to be I was going to choose my family and my wife, or I was going to just stay the course. And I just kind of cut ties and quit.
Good for you, man.
Mm.
I mean, there was no threat of any kind, but it was just like I could see the writing on the wall. She had been sober for 3 years. And when you're sober for 3 years, fighting through that and looking at the person next to you, and I wasn't getting better, I was getting much worse. And so, yeah, I just decided it was time.
Yeah, drinking a lot's pretty, it's pretty depressing when you're not touring the world in a band and you're not young and you're not with your homeboys.
Well, it's depressing when you're touring the world too.
No, it is, but at
say.
least there's a sheen over it where the sheen is called fun, and you can kind of kid yourself that you're having fun, but you can't kid yourself to the same degree when it's 20 years later and you're not doing all that stuff.
Well, the thing was I wanted to quit drinking. But I also had it in the back of my head that I wasn't that bad. And when I realized it was that bad is that I realized everything in my life was geared towards drinking, and I had no idea what to do with myself outside of drinking. That was when I was like, holy crap, it really was that bad. I mean, I didn't go into my backyard and barbecue for a full year when I quit drinking because I just knew it would make me trigger. It would trigger me bad. So I stayed out of my back.
Make you want to have a beer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I didn't actually throw out my beer either. I wanted to leave whatever beers were in my fridges there because I wanted to deal with it, but I didn't. I guess I stayed in the house. So that was good. I mean, I had fridges in my garage that were filled with beer, and I had fridges in my backyard that were filled with beer. I had a bar built in my backyard.
Wow.
It was good to get away from it.
Yeah, what's it been like to be sober for 4 years now?
Feels great. I really regret having not been for 30 or 20 something years before that. I really do regret it, but at the same time I have to realize that, I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that,
So Barry, you were not part of Struggle Continues then? That record?
No, but according to a lot of the fans, I was.
Oh yeah, yeah. You take credit for it.
No, I mean no, but they've all signed this. They're like, oh, I remember the last time you guys came through, and I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've ever been here. But yeah, it was,
You did a fair amount of touring though with us, and we recorded a song you wrote on Struggle Continues.
yeah.
And I think you've told me that the bass line is incorrect.
Yeah, I'd have to go back over it again. I was really drunk at that time, so I was probably saying a lot of things that.
I mean, everything's always going to be different when somebody else plays it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And when you write something, you're like you have it such a particular way. When you hear it different, it kind of like catches your ear more than anything else. So
yeah, it was my drive to put that song on Struggle Continues. Like I was like the biggest Blast Bandits fan, and like I had a cassette tape that I'd accidentally like probably press down record like in the intro, like in the outro of the song. So there was like a weird dip in the recording on my copy of the Blast Bandits cassette.
Wait, you did what?
So I had a Blast Bandits like dub, like somebody had like dubbed like the first demo and then like some live songs onto a tape. And I found it in our van when we were cleaning it out one time. And I've had it in a boombox, probably listening to it because I didn't have a stereo in my car. And
yeah, that was actually what we sold.
Oh, just dubbed tapes.
That was our demo. Yeah, so we did a dub tape and then we put live songs on
it. Yeah. So somebody had bought it, or somebody had put it in the van, and I swiped that shit. I still have it, and I just thought that song was the fucking sickest. And I just remember hearing Blast Bandits later with horns, and I was like, this is not it. Like this early version of Blast Bandits is the shit.
Have we said what the name of the song is?
It's called Nothing New.
Nothing New. And yeah, Omnigone plays that song.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other like really sick Blast Bandit songs, but I just don't think they would translate as well because like they were all like super young. And so like one of my other favorite songs is the Captain, oh Captain, my motherfucking friend. We'll sing and dance and listen to the party till the end. Like that shit's tight, but it's super juvenile. And it's also singing about like, can't wait until the day I get my Boss Tones CD back.
Ooh.
He has a dope ass pair of something and a million pairs of Vans.
Dope ass pair of thongs.
He's older, but he kicks it still because Daniel is the man. Shout out Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, you're rusty.
Adam, you've talked before about using Tiger Balm to help have a lively show.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
But Barry, were you part of that? Did you do that in your time with Link 80?
I might have. I don't know, dude. Maybe.
Who knows? We were probably doing Gold Bond at that point.
I kind of remember that like being a conversation, and it could have actually happened. But like I said, I was recovering before every set and then destroying myself afterwards. So it's possible. Probably happened.
Gold Balm, is that like the next step up from Tiger Balm?
No, it's kind of more chilled out, but
okay.
It's like a powder, and you can buy it more. It's more readily available than Tiger Balm.
So what's the trick with that?
So you would put Tiger Balm on your body just to like...
Yeah, have you not done that, Justin?
No, I mean, I put Tiger Balm and like BioFreeze and stuff all over, but just for like muscle ache.
Yeah, put it on your nuts.
Just get your stage energy up.
Yeah.
That's smart. I'm going to do that.
It lights the fire. We did it with this band Bigwig from New Jersey, and their guitar player was like losing his mind. Like, you know, the first block of their set, he was like running around the stage and like screaming and like kept looking off at us on like the side of the stage, like freaking out because it was like too much for him. And then the song ended and he tried to grab like a giant pitcher of water and like pour it down the front of his pants. And we're like, no, because like pouring water on Tiger Balm just makes it burn more
and spreads it all around.
Yeah.
Wow. So he actually put it on his nuts. That's amazing. Did
he do it or did somebody else do that for him?
You don't have somebody else do it for you, Barry. You do it to yourself.
You guys are big time. You guys are big time, man. You guys are big time, right?
Okay. You do Barry, and Barry does Justin.
No, just rhythm section.
I mean, I'll play more shows with you guys if we do it that way. That sounds great. Rhythm section only, Adam. You have to wait outside. Me and Barry have a special bond.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just the rhythm section's gonna get down.
We got to balm up.
Balm up.
Balm up. We're gonna throw down.
What do you think it'd be like if you did it now in your mid 40s?
Be fine. I still put Gold Bond on my nuts.
Why?
I went to the doctor the other day, and the doctor I was talking about like, hey, sometimes I have like jock itch, and he's like, yeah, put Gold Bond on it, and I was like, thank you, okay. So it does have like a legitimate purpose.
Okay.
Like if you got like swampy crotch or swampy butt, like it'll dry that up.
This has been pretty educational so far.
Hey, nothing if not educational.
Gold Bond, you want to get sponsored?
Yeah, if Gold Bond wants to sponsor us,
I put Gold Bond on my feet every day.
sure, it's great. Gold Bond's totally great.
I've sweat through enough pairs of Vans playing
There
drums.
you go.
Gold Bond.
Yeah.
So Adam, do you post it on the Omnigone account? Once at Chain Reaction, we were on stage with a packed house, and Barry was nowhere to be found. We led the audience in an impromptu song called "Barry Does the Pee-Pee Dance" until we saw him pushing his way through the audience to start the show.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's expand upon the story, both of you.
Was that Link 80?
Yeah, that was Blink 80. Chain Reaction has a secret bathroom that nobody knows about. And the other thing is we sang this song called Barry Does the Pee-Pee Dance. And it was like, Barry does the pee-pee dance. He does it every day. Barry does the pee-pee dance. He does it every day. Whoa, Barry, he does the pee-pee dance. And about this point, I can see him pushing through the audience. Barry does the pee-pee dance. He does it every day. Hey!
Barry does.
And we got a big round of applause. And then Barry climbed on stage and we played.
I don't know if you know this, but there was about an EP's worth of songs about me that they would sing up on stage.
Because you were the new guy.
What other Barry songs did you have?
Barry the bassist.
Let's hear it.
And most of this was all Ryan Noble's doing, by the way.
Yeah.
So it would be like hits at the beginning, and it'd be like, Barry the bassist is my frickin' friend. And then there'd be like a drum fill, do-de-la-do-de-la-do. And then it'd be money beat, do-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, banana, banana, and that was all we had.
See, small EP.
Speaking of Ryan Noble and songs about band members, what's the origin story of him doing that rap song about you, Adam?
Oh, it was a Secret Santa present.
Oh yeah. Can you do it? Can you do some of it?
Oh, I can't remember. It was like, well, my name is Adam Davis. I'm a really nice guy. Like, I can't remember the rest of it. There was a thing in there about me taking really big poops.
Yeah, and there's also something about how he wants to get you high. Someday he's going to get you high. Yeah.
We're going to do ayahuasca together one time, so.
Not going to happen.
Holding my breath on that one.
Not going to happen.
You know, psychedelics don't count, Adam.
Yeah, they're like medicine, dude.
Oh, they don't? Okay, Justin, you want to go trip with me?
Yeah, let's go do drugs. That sounds fun.
You just said drugs. This is a prescription.
I'm going to cross out on my hands. It says drug free.
This is a prescription, Justin. Not.
Yeah, cross out those drug free tattoos.
One life. I'm going to just have it say prescriptions. Okay.
No more than Tylenol.
Justin, are you lifelong straight edge?
No. I drank in my early mid 20s for like 2 or 3 years. I just wanted to try it. I wanted to see if it was something that would be a cool part of my life, and it wasn't. So I stopped doing it.
Was it the hangovers?
Yeah, the hangovers sucked. I just didn't like not being in control. And also I found out, and I'm sure people are going to laugh at me for this, but I'm epileptic, and you're not supposed to drink if you're epileptic, like ever.
Oh.
It's like the one thing, big no. And I take medication for that, and the medication interacts with alcohol. So I would drink and I would just puke my brains out, be sick. And then why are all my stories about puking?
It's amazing.
But that was what would happen. I'd just be super sick and puke everywhere. And that was my experience with drinking. And I was like, why does anybody do this? This is so lame. It's just like having the flu every night. And then I stopped probably like 10 years ago.
Well, good thing you never drank and drove.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
You've really been puking.
How long, when you start playing with Omnigone, does Adam like require you to get the X tattooed on your hands?
I was right away. He said, "Hey, do you want to come out and do this record?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Cool. There's one pre-requirement. You have to go get an X tattooed on." It was actually my neck,
Oh,
and
sick.
I had to do it. It's got to be done.
Oh.
And yeah, and so I got that giant X in my throat. Adam made me do it. I don't actually have an X tattoo on my throat.
What tattoo did you actually get?
I got the Against the Rest
Yeah.
tattoo on my hand.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of tattoos, so it was like, this is my whole thing. I don't really care like what's on my body anymore. Like we're all gonna die and rot. Why not get
Same.
some cool tattoos while we're here?
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I'll tattoo stuff on my hands and my
Forehead.
I'm eventually gonna move on to my neck, maybe my face.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care anymore. It just doesn't phase me anymore.
Adam, have you ever considered covering some straight edge songs by Minor Threat?
No. If we're gonna cover anything, it'll be Straight Edge Revenge by Project X. Just because Brent and Nick think it's so funny. They're always just like, let's just fucking straight edge revenge this shit. Like anytime they like, you know, there's like beers backstage at a show or something. It's like, oh, thanks. We're gonna take these on stage, and our whole set's gonna be 20 minutes of smashing these. Just fucking stupid belligerent shit.
I would really like that. And I just like 15-minute speeches about about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, people love that.
All right, so Omnigone, the very first Omnigone recording is actually Reese Noble on drums.
Yeah.
You did 3 songs, and this was at was it iMusicast?
Yeah, well, it was at the studio behind iMusicast, Skyline Studio.
The studio class, yeah, the first Gnarboots recording did that as well.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, I also did a recording with Dominic Davy of Tsunami Bomb and this girl named Teresa on drums, and then lost the files.
Wow.
Is that a ska band?
No, it was just punk. It was just punk shit. We recorded like 2 or 3 songs and then lost the files. Like I think I had them on a flash drive. Lost the flash drive. And then went back to the studio and was like, shit, I lost the flash drive. Do you guys still have it backed up somewhere? And they're like, yeah, 1 second. And then they didn't have it.
That sucks.
That shit's lost to the sands of time. But Gnarboots and Omnigone, those made it through.
What was the state of Omnigone? Because I mean, when Gnarboots did that first recording, there was no Gnarboots.
Mm-hmm.
It was we put it together specifically for that recording because he asked you, and we all thought it'd be fun. And there was no band, and actually the band came as a result of that, and also being offered a show. What was it for Omnigone?
After the Link 80 reunion in 2016, I was like, damn, like I really like playing this type of music, and we're definitely never doing Link 80 again. So it took me like 3 years to kind of come to terms with that and like figure out like, could I just start a new band like in my 40s and play ska punk? Like, is that something that I needed to do? And I was just like, I thought about it so much that I was like, I just set a deadline for myself, which was the Siren 6 show at Bottom of the Hill. And then I missed that deadline, but I was still thinking about it so much that I was like, I hit up Brian Matheson, was like, hey, can I come to your recording studio? I hit up Barry and I hit up Reese because Reese had played in an Operation Ivy cover band that we did for one show. And I really enjoyed playing with Reese. And Barry had like hit me up like randomly one night, just sent me a text like, let's start a ska band. Just totally serious. And I was just like, yeah, right. I'm not doing that.
I was totally drunk, but I was totally serious.
Yeah. And I was like, you're tripping. And I should have just done it then. Like he was right. And then just went to the studio and I'd written one song kind of, and we had to just learn it in the studio, which kind of is the way. And then I knew I just wanted to do like a hardcore punk song. So that took like 2 seconds. So we just came up with parts for Burn It Down, cranked that out. And then I'd been toying with the idea of What was the other one we did, Barry?
Oh man,
It was like a punk version of Rewrite History.
Not Rewrite History, but when what song is it? Dang it!
Earlier in the time, Stitch in Time. That's the one.
Stitch in Time. That's it. Yep.
So I think Stitch in Time was something that I'd been playing around with as like a Gnarboots Junior song, like when we were talking about doing a children's band, Aaron.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we had a couple of those songs, and I was like, "Oh, I have this thing," and so we just did it as like a Ramones punk style song.
Yeah, sounded good, but not as good as you.
Because I felt like I was annoying everybody by making us play more ska. So I felt like it needed to be like a straight ahead punk song. And then on No Faith, it's totally ska.
We totally fixed it.
And then I just, recorded these songs. And at that point, I'd become friends with Vantana Rowe. And like we were talking one day, and I was like, "Hey, I have these songs. Could you mix them for me?" And they mixed the first EP. And then I was like, "Well, shit." That came together easily enough. And then Aaron and I went and did that Curious Quail cover at District, and that studio was cheap as fuck to record at. So I was like, damn, I should come back here with just a bunch of homies and in one day just knock out a bunch of songs. And that's how the band started.
The rest is history.
Okay, so before all that, the Link 80 reunion. The Link 80 reunion in 2016, that was the official Link 80 reunion with Asian Man Records.
Yeah.
Gnarboots did like a mini Link 80 reunion before that.
Yeah.
What year was that? Do you know? It was at Asian Man as well.
Oh, that was the year before, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't the year before. Yeah, it was probably like 2013.
At the A's parking lot?
Or 2013.
Is it the Oakland A's Coliseum?
No. This is the 15-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so when would 15 year been? Well, that was 2012, 2011?
Yeah, 11.
One of my sons had like just been born.
Okay, so we were playing. We got to actually play. Gnarboots got to actually play on the stage as like a real show.
Yeah, at bottom of
and
the
so
hill.
was that year I did just be like, hey, let's do like a mini Link 80 reunion in there.
Yeah, because I was pissed that we weren't doing Link 80. And I know everybody else in Link 80 felt fucking stupid when we watched Slapstick play.
Yeah, that was the same year. Okay.
And we were just like, what the fuck? Like, great. Like, so this is happening and people are like losing their shit over Slapstick and we're not doing shit. And we're all here.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It was like depressing.
Who participated in the Gnarboots mini Link 80 reunion?
Barry did.
I did. And yeah, was it Jimmy? Someone you had, friend of yours?
Yeah, Jimmy from the Fad sang.
Oh, okay.
He was fucking hammered and he sounded like shit.
To be fair, I sounded like shit too doing the drums.
You're fine.
All right.
You were fine. You pulled it off. Then we had Seth and Jason play sax. So I think, and then we had Bob played trombone.
Oh shit!
I think so. We had like a full horn section. We played 2 Link 80 songs. I think there's a horrible video of it on YouTube if you want to relive it.
Oh no!
I found some ill-fitting shirt with like embroidery on it in the back patio, and like squeezed my like dad bod into it.
Nice.
And so like it's really awkward looking footage. I have short hair.
Your leopard pants.
It would have been cool if I'd been wearing leopard pants.
Did you feel good with the Link 80, the actual Link 80 reunion?
Yes and no. I was really fun getting to play with Matt Bettinelli. It really sucked playing with Adam Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
He bummed everybody out really bad. I was shocked that everybody wanted to include him in the first place. And I went along with it because I don't mind playing with Adam. Like I actually really like his playing and I like his voice. And even a part of me likes how he acts, even though it's very abrasive. Part of me enjoys it because he's down to just like be crazy. But he bummed everybody else out super bad to the point where like nobody wanted to do it. And I was like, well, you guys are the ones that invited him. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want. And then Barry had to deal with only getting to play like half the set because Adam was playing the other half. And my thought also was when he got invited was that he was just going to like sing because he'd been kicked out of the band, but there were songs that he sang. So I don't know. For me, like if they had been like, hey, we just want you to get up and sing, Matt's going to play guitar for the entire set, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's fine. But that was not how he felt about it.
And so you think it's never happening again?
Absolutely never happening again. I talked to Mike Park about it yesterday. Damn, I wish I'm never going to do the Link 80 reunion again because everybody hates Adam. And I was like, well, I don't know that they hate him, but Adam is not somebody that anybody wants to play music with anymore.
Do you feel like now that you have Omnigone that you're okay with that? Or do you kind of still wish you could do that again?
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. And I mean, here's the thing too, is like we've re-recorded a bunch of stuff off of Struggle Continues, like just because like recording, like I said before, recording a district is incredibly cheap and it's a great studio. So we were just like, let's go in there and just record a bunch of Link 80 songs because they're not going to do anything with these songs. And so we went in and re-recorded a bunch of those songs. And then Barry was even like, let's record One More Minute, which was a Link 80 song that never got recorded and is a very good song. And now it's on the new record. So we have a song that's 21 years old on the new Omnigone record.
Well, what are those other songs that you guys re-recorded?
We recorded Time for Change, which is like the only one that hasn't been released, I think. We did Right Hook, which was originally going to be on the split with Protagonist, but then at the last minute, because it took so fucking long for that to come out, that I was like, let's put one of these other songs that we recorded on there. So we have a version of Web We Weave, which is also on the new record. And that song is on the, so Right Hook became like a digital B-side. And then we did Step Up, which was on Struggle Continues, and we added vocals, and Esteban from Matamosca added horns and keys to it. And Barry, am I forgetting one? Did we do any others? And nothing
new. Yeah, that was the other one.
We did Nothing New.
We're going to continue doing Nothing New every 4 or 5 years, I think.
Dude, I mean, honestly, every time we play it, I look at you because you've been playing that song for like 3/4 of your life now.
Yeah, since I was
so
15
awesome.
years old.
Dude, it makes me so happy every time we play that song. Like just looking over at you and just being like, damn, Barry's playing Nothing New again. I love this.
And the song's called Nothing New, so it's kind of extra ironic.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like every time we play it, I feel like it gets better. Like, I don't know.
I didn't know the lyrics.
I think it's such a good song. That's the reason that's the reason, like, once Blast Bandits wasn't playing anymore, I wanted Link 80 to play it, and I wanted Omnigone to play it because it's a great song. And it's like one of those songs that I feel like more people should hear.
Yeah, that song is sick. Big fan. Good job, Barry.
Justin, did you play drums on any of those Link 80 songs we recovered?
Honestly, I don't know what any of the songs are called.
That's the funniest thing, because I like you and Brent. Nobody knows who played on what.
You're like track 14. I know because it's in the liner notes of the first record, and I know because we just did the second record recently enough, and that time I wrote down every song. Like as I played it, I wrote, "Oh, I recorded drums on this. I recorded drums on this." Because there were 2 songs that Joey Bustos did that I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know what anything was called. It was like track 1, track 7, track 14.
Yeah.
And some of them had like temp names. So
yeah, a couple ended up with different names.
Recorded more Omnigone songs than anyone else on drums.
That's wild. That's absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah, the funny thing too is so Brent recorded different versions of 3 of the songs that are on the new album, but then he thought that we just went in and just had you re-record the drum parts. But those are just different recordings that we just didn't do anything with, except for the one that came out on the 7-inch.
Yeah.
But so he was like listening to the record, like, I think I played on this, but that doesn't sound like the way I remember it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a totally new recording. But then here's the funny part, Justin. When we shot the video for Against the Rest, and that was, it was, and everybody was learning the song as we're like filming this video. Like Brent's trying to like figure out what you did. And then later after we finished recording, I'm like, wait, no, it's not what Justin did. It's what Joey did. Joey played drums on this song.
Yeah. That's one of Joey's songs. Dude, I listen to that song sometimes and I'm like, yeah, I really sound good on this. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me. That's not me. But it's at the same studio, and I feel like we have a kind of similar style.
Mm-hmm.
I think my style I probably just ripped off from him.
Right.
Because like I listened to that and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is the vibe of the record. Great. I'm going to do what he did.
What would Joey Bustos do?
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, I straight up said that to Joey, though. When we played with Voodoo Glow Skulls, and he only had like a day to prepare for it. And he was like, I don't know these songs that well. And I was like, Joey, literally just play whatever you feel like is the right part. And it's going to be the right part because we basically wrote these songs like with the way you play in mind. So just go for it. And it was fine.
So on your tours and the shows you do, how many Ska Now More Than Ever banners do you usually sell at a show?
100.
We've gone through, we're like down to the last few of the like third print run of those. That means we've sold like 300 of them or something.
Wow. We're going to change our name now.
To what? To Ska Now More Than Ever?
No more than ever.
I just tacked one up on the wall at Gilman. I'm going to see how long it stays there for. Because here's the thing: is my friend Ken Davis makes this screen print that says ABCD. It says ABC defund the police, and he gave me a bunch of those, and I clipped one up behind the stage at Gilman months ago, and I just kept seeing it in the background of people's pictures. And I was like, what the fuck? That's still there? Like nobody's torn it down or stolen it or defaced it. And then it fell down the last time we were at Gilman on Sunday because I was putting up our banner. Oh, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then I was going to put it up later, but it disappeared. So I was like, whatever. And then I was like, oh, wait, let me put one of these Ska Now More Than Ever flags up. So we'll see how long it stays.
Ken Davis, by the way, is the person that did the lettering on the cover of my book.
Yep. Who set that up?
That was Adam Davis.
Oh, thank you.
The lettering he did, everything except my name at the bottom was actually spray painted on the wall. It's not photoshopped. And he did it all freehand. He didn't use any stencils or anything. That's what a professional he is.
Excellent sign painter.
Yep. So if you need a sign, no kidding.
He also did the Against the Rest that's on the back of the Link 80 hoodies from the reunion show.
When my book was first coming out, I was talking to a friend, Lex. He used to be in the Frontier Wives. He was on Survivor, and I was talking about my book, and he was complimenting the cover, and I was telling him the whole story, and I mentioned Ken Davis. And he goes, Ken Davis? He's a legend in the lettering community. I was like, there's a legend. There's a lettering community.
Yeah,
he's a legend in it.
Yeah, Ken's a big deal, and Ken's been in like DIY punk for a long time, and super good dude. He had this really cool studio for a while in like Hayward, and it was in the middle of this. Some guy owns this warehouse where the lot behind it, he's turned it into like a 3/4 scale Western town. And so there's just this random like back lot with these just like the fronts of all these like Western buildings, but they're all like 3/4 scale. It's so bizarre.
The Ska Now More Than Ever is like sort of taken over a lot of the new ska scene, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And the second edition of my book it's coming out in October. It's called In Defense of Ska Now More Than Ever edition. Because what else could I call it, right?
Yeah.
Do you I believe my wife Amy thought of that. And
good job, Amy.
And then I asked you, and you're like, that's it. That's the name.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story? I don't know if we've talked about it in front of the curtain. Yeah, we've talked about it behind the curtain.
I mean, I tell it to people whenever they ask. So sure, we can talk about it here.
Yeah.
Back during the pandemic, Save Ferris posted a T-shirt with a picture of Monique on the front, where they'd kind of look like they'd used like a Instagram filter to like write the words "ska now more than ever" across the front of this picture of her with like red bars. It was a really not great looking shirt. And then they made this post, and this was during the height of like COVID and Black Lives Matter happening and like lots of high tension, and people were, raising money for Black Lives Matter at the time. And they posted this shirt and they just put support the cause, like buy one of these shirts, but they were really vague about it. And people were like, left comments that were like, what's the cause? Like, what are you guys doing? And it was just like weird. And I who knows if they even sold any of these shirts. I've never seen one in real life. So I looked back at their posts a little bit, and they've been using the hashtag ska now more than ever. And Brent and I saw it, and Brent was just like, what does that even mean? Like ska now more than ever? And it just seemed ridiculous. And so we just started texting it to each other, like just throughout the day, just ska now more than ever, and just laughing because it was just funny. And then I think I started putting it on like our actual posts just to like, I don't know, to make Brent laugh. But then it like picked up steam, and then I made stickers out of it. And I was like, hey, mail me your address and I'll send you some of these, send me your address and I'll send you some of these stickers. And like got like a super positive response. Sent out like 100 stickers. And then Brent was like, you should make a banner out of this. Like people love it. And we made a banner out of it, and people were super into it. And honestly, like, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. And now people have it tattooed on them.
And we say it on this podcast. We
say it on this podcast. Other people say it now, and it's actually gone full circle. And now it's not, what does this mean? It's like, I know what it means. And it means literally fucking ska now more than ever. It means like, this is a DIY movement, and we're all living our best lives, and you don't have to be ashamed to play ska anymore, and you don't have to be a dork to play ska. And there's just as much dorkiness in all other types of music. So fuck yeah, ska now more than ever. We end our sets with it now, where we do like these big hits at the end of the song, at the end of the set, and I scream ska now more than ever. And I mean, it gets a really good audience reaction.
Yeah, I love that on the In Defense of Ska tour when you do that.
Should we start the set that way now, Barry? We could try that next time.
You could start
the set with it and
it. And then midway too.
We'll end with ska meow more than ever.
Yeah, but shout out Say Ferris for
getting the ball,
coining that term.
Yeah.
They're the OGs. Don't go anywhere. If you want to hear the rest of this conversation, head over to our Patreon. Thank you for listening to In Defense of Ska. Please rate and review this podcast and tell a friend. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at In Defense of Ska. Pick up Aaron's book, In Defense of Ska, at your local bookstore or online. This podcast is edited by Chris Reeves of Ska Punk International. This is your co-host, Adam Davis of Omnigone, leaving you by saying ska now more than ever. Well, that was weird.
Yeah, did you feel uncomfortable being removed from your co-host seat and put in the guest seat?
Yeah, kind of. I feel like I don't know. Did I sound cool?
I was like, this guy's awesome. I'm gonna check out his album.
I hope I sounded okay.
My favorite part of the episode is when you said that you drove from Denver to California, and then you needed to take a couple hour nap after that so you can get home the remaining 3 hours.
It was 5 hours. 5 more hours. But yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be a total wreck the next day.
So you were the guest this time, but in Behind the Curtain this week, you got to be co-host again briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And you interviewed Justin, who didn't Didn't get enough questions thrown his way during this episode.
No, so we made sure to get some more time in with Justin. And listen, for only $5, the price of a cup of coffee, you could listen to this conversation with Justin. 7 minutes in heaven, we're calling it, with Justin. I set a timer, and we interviewed Justin Amans of Kitty Cat Fan Club, of Obikuo Station. Did I say that right? Who knows? Mike Park will tell me if I said it wrong.
Yeah.
And
Of Omnigone.
he was also in a band called For the Win.
With Adam Davis.
I got tricked into being in that band for a little bit. So yeah, for $5, head on over to the Patreon, check it out. Ska now more than ever.